You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Tune into your hardest hit radio this Thursday evening on the Deuces. I'm your host Toriano Parker, along with our super executive producer Jabaar Edomnd from One Love Magazine. We have a very, very extraordinary guest on the show this week. We got Carla Bristol. She's one of our great sponsors of the show. We introduce her name every single week. Gallery 909. If you're into the arts, you need to get down this corridor and see Carla Bristol. She has been doing her work for a long time. We need to keep supporting this sister. So without no further ado, I'd like to bring in my guest, Carla Bristol. How are you doing today?
Awesome, as always. I'm so grateful for both you and Jabaar for even having this show that reaches the community so that everybody can know what's happening here in this new cultural history and arts hub.
Hey, a lot of things going on in the corridor, so let's get to some of them. There's a lot of changes as we start off from 5th Avenue South and heading down underneath the interstate. A lot of changes. All changes being good in your perspective?
Not necessarily. As someone that's wasn't born in St. Petersburg, when I came here in '96, this St. Pete in general lacked what I felt like a lot of culture. And a lot of that was because I hadn't even discovered what was already here. So what I love that has happened is the African American Heritage Trail. I think that's phenomenal. That's a super narrative that we have for this community. I think if people from all over the country, and especially here in Florida and Tampa, were to learn about this rich history that's already documented in the ground, walking trail, we'll expect it to be one of the largest in the country. That's a good thing. You got the historic Manhattan Casino. I would like to see that look more like it's historic. It looks like a reception hall now, so I think that's one of the things we have to push and drive and insist on is the history of that building be reflected when you walk in it.
You know, I see that. Let's go to the business part of 22nd Street, all right? The history of this corridor is about business. It used to be from top to bottom, right? At one point, and upwards of 30 to 40 some businesses around the same corridor. We're reduced down to about 9 right now. With the state of where we're heading at, I don't see that number increasing.
Well, as a business owner, let's hope that that's just a bleak outlook. What I'd like to see happen is that we being examples, Toriano, people like you and myself, that's determined to stay here, that feel that this is exactly where we want to be. We'll leave Central Avenue for others, but we want to continue to grow and preserve the history. There was over 100 black-owned businesses right here in a 10-block radius on 22nd Street. There's no reason why that can't return that way. So if nothing else, I'd like to reach out to people to say, take a chance on 22nd Street. I did, and when I did, I looked at a 3 to 5 year projection. I'm in the middle of my second year here, and it is going as I projected it would go. People said people wouldn't come. They're coming. You have to have a great, strong sense of community by having programs for the young people, by letting them know the gallery is a place for them to hang out. I pop kids upside their head all the time, like we used to do when we were coming up. We used to get popped, just so that they know they're loved and cared about, and we want them to be a part of this.
Right. Let's talk about arts. What do you see going on the corridor with arts? A lot of things are coming this way. What you think about the art situation for the corridor?
You know, St. Pete has a motto of wanting the sun to shine on all. And what I'd like to see is, I don't want to see a mirror of what we see on the north side, but what I do want to see is it's infused the history that was already here. But I'm trying to say to people, what I'm doing and what you're doing is not. There was a Toriano Parker and a Carla Bristol back in the 50s. We're just we're the new one. We have to take up from where other people left off. And some people would rather let somebody else do it, and we're saying we're going to do it. So I think with people like us, I don't necessarily feel that this has to be about art, but art and heritage is exactly what our culture is about. We are the founder of art. We know it started in Africa.
Right.
If we look around the south side of St. Petersburg, murals were already a common thing for us on the south side of St. Petersburg. Now we're creating mural festivals on the north side and we feel excluded. Well, guess what? Before February, we're going to make sure we're having our own mural festival. There's no reason we shouldn't.
What as business owners and the community people can look forward to see more of that, and then being constructive where people feel inclusive of the changes instead of like reading the paper or catching on social network. What's coming?
I'll tell you what, Toriano, one of the things that's important to me that I do all the time, yesterday I went over to visit Miss Lorraine's, talked to her, find out she's been there for 20 years. I went and talked to the guys under the tree. I told them, I said, man, I need to get a body camera.
Right.
And they said if I got a body camera and recorded it, I'd have to edit 90% of it.
Right.
But to listen to those guys and to say, here's the direction, what do you think? You know, and to get them to nod their head saying, yeah, that's the right direction. Spoke to the folks with the Heritage Trail this morning, said, here's some of the things I'd like to see happen. How do you guys feel about that?
Right.
This was a hub for jazz.
Right.
This was a hub for music. There's no reason why people wouldn't come back here for that if we just remind them that it was already here.
Right. I think, you know, I love the guys under the tree. That's part of our history also. You can count on them every day. I guess what we're going to say is a narrative and wrapping up and saying we got the art, we have the murals, hope to get more business. Give me a narrative what we can go off to say, this is what we can anticipate in the next 6 months, next year, everything from the north side of the underpass to the south side of the underpass.
Okay, so one of the things I'd like to see for sure is I think that just like anything else, how you dress will attract attention. We need to dress up the deuces.
Yeah.
That needs to happen. So we know we want the ugly black chain link fence removed. We know we want Department of Transportation to get in here and clean up behind that fence. We can have a community effort to clean it up, but we can't get behind their fence line.
Right.
So that's important. It's important that we go ahead and put world-class murals by our local artists on the buildings that's already been identified. It's important that the college become a part of this partnering to attract more people, attract more businesses onto 22nd Street. People are coming, that we just need to continue to educate them that we're here, the trail is here. It's now, we're going into the cooler weather. You can't tell right now because we're still having beautiful Florida weather now. But people, we have to encourage people to walk the trail. We have to encourage them, whether it be a flashlight walk, that might be exciting for kids at night. Parents, take them out. Let's walk this trail. Let's get them educated about their history. Let's talk about Elder Jordan and what he did for this community. And let's show some respect and homage to that by restoring it to what it once was in its heyday.
Carla, you've been involved in so many groups and things of the chain. How can someone get in touch with you?
Well, I'm always at the gallery on Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 6. Every second Saturday, I feature a new artist. Every so often, I get approached about artists that wouldn't ordinarily have an opportunity. Someone
Right.
shared pictures with me this morning about a lady that was homeless. The art is incredible. There's no reason why, even though my next available chance to show is in July of 2016, I told them I will make it happen immediately if they get her to call me. So
Right.
you can either visit my website at www.gallery909, that's GALLERIE 909.com. I'm big on Facebook, so visit me at Carla Bristol on Facebook. I'm the one with the African head wrap, or the gallery's on Facebook as well. Stop in, but I'm big on human contact. So please stop in and visit me. I'm huge on hugging. Everybody knows that. It's the Caribbean, it's the Caribbean West Indian in me. But I'm all about community. I'm all about ways that we can enhance it together. I like hearing people who want to work together, truly work together and support each other. That's what we have to do to move forward, guys.
On behalf of our show, we appreciate you being such a great sponsor to our show. We definitely advertise your business every week. We're super remarkable for you to put that art, your art gallery there, and it sustains itself as long as it have. It's just a great contribution. That's why we take it beyond ourselves here on the show to announce it every week, because we need more of Carla Bristol, and that's point blank. And we are very appreciative of your work. I'm a super big fan, and we just like thank you very much for being on our show. You're a very great pioneer in the things and the changes we're trying to bring about the corridor. So you want a special guest, special sponsor, and on behalf of our show, me, Brother Jabaar, and everyone that makes it happen, we would like to personally thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Hey, this is your Hard Hitting Radio. This is your host again, Toriano Parker. We're about to go into a commercial break. I will see you in 2 minutes. This is your Thursday edition of Hard Hitting Radio. Your host, Toriano Parker. See you in 2 minutes. All right, we're good. Hey, tuned in again to your heart real estate investor. Does a lot of work through the community to beautify our city, to bring it up a value that's equivalent to other areas in the city. Yeah, he's been investing for over 3 years, very knowledgeable. So without any further ado, Antonio Tomson, how you doing today, brother?
Oh man, I'm doing great, man, and thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah. Hey, real estate used to be down. It was a downer at one point. Seemed like the market's on the rise. How are you doing so far with your development here in St. Pete?
Man, I'm doing pretty well. You know, I started back a long time ago, actually. I read my first real estate book when I was 18 years old. I actually flipped my first property when I was 19 years old.
Okay.
And I actually seen the ups and downs of the market. And right now, St. Petersburg is actually one of the hottest markets right now there is in Florida.
So statistically, our home values are what at this point?
Statistically, the home values are really rising, especially in the Melrose area. The typical value is now around about $90,000 bucks. I have a guy. Yeah, I have a guy who actually bought a property on 22nd Street.
Okay.
He bought it about 4 years ago, and he bought it for like $30,000. Now he's actually trying to sell that piece of property for around $200,000.
On 22nd Street?
22nd Street.
Who used to live at, a mayor? Is that the old Capone residence down on 16th Street? That's extraordinary, though. I mean, that's exceptional for the market. I mean, the percentage of that, good grief, that is huge. A lot of stuff been said about the Melrose area, the Charles Park area, the lack of housing, the lack of opportunity to housing. You have a streamline for that you think you're working out with your investment market that maybe those individuals borderline between credit scores or borderline between transitioning on housing that would like their own house. I don't think everybody want to be a product of the subject because they're buying forever. How do you see that streamline process of working out?
To be honest with you, I think everybody has the misconception that you need credit or anything to really actually buy a piece of property. You know, and in all actuality, when I first started out, I didn't have a dime or a credit. You know, I actually started. I flipped my first house off the city bus. I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. But you can't let the lack of not having stop you from reaching that goal.
Right. Absolutely. Hey, do you work with you work with investors, or do you work with the average home buying citizen?
I work with anybody. I mean, anybody who's looking to buy a house or change their way of living. I mean, I work with anybody. Right now, I'm mostly work with investors. I have a large list of investors that I work with. I've been investing in St. Pete since 1980. I mean, most of these are old white guys, so I get with Brother Jabaar now to try to empower the black community as far as let them know, hey, you got other people that are looking to invest in your neighborhood, so why not take the advantage and invest in your neighborhood as well.
Wow, those guys provide opportunity capital also?
Yes.
That's super exceptional there. Hey, with that being said, Tony, if you have people out there that want to get in contact with you, whether they're investing themselves or they're that person that want that first home opportunity, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, you can hit me up through my website, my email address. My email is walktowealth@gmail.com, or I'm all over Facebook. You can actually give me a call on my cell phone, which is 727-303-4246. I'm always available. I work till about 2 o'clock in the morning. So, you know.
So brother can reach you at any time they want.
At any time they want.
Man, that's great. Hey, at this point, there's a lot of availability of homes, and especially the Child Park Mineral area, to be exact. Have any interest there?
I have a lot of interest there, actually. I actually have sold to date about 6 or 7 properties over in that area. I actually have a property right now that I'm looking to sell in that area. I actually sent out about 300 pieces over in that area, 2 bodies in that area. So.
Any advertising your Facebook page or anything?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yes.
So somebody actually can take a look at it, photos you got out there?
Yes. I mean, I put every property I own, every property I have interest in. I mean, I'm always on Facebook. I'm all over all social media.
For our listening audience, tell them how they can get to you on Facebook and how they can get to you again.
My name is Antonio J. Tomson on Facebook. You can hit me up through my email, which is walktowealth@gmail.com. Or again, my office is right there on Central and 39th Street, so you can always stop in and see me. I'm always there.
Wow. Hey, for those that what I don't know, anything you can give to our listening audience to encourage them to say, hey, let's get out of the routine situation. Let's become homeowners. Let's have investment in our own community. Could you give a segue that could get our individuals kind of motivated in that direction?
Yeah, sure. Again, when I first started doing real estate, you know, I didn't have anything. I mean, didn't have a car, no cell phone. I was working a dead-end job, only making $450 every 2 weeks. So that's not $100 a month. I went to my first real estate seminar, a free seminar, and took that. And I just hit the streets running. I mean, I used to walk for 4 hours a day just to look for properties down right in St. Petersburg. I mean, I had an 8-hour job. I worked my 8-hour job. I get off of my 8-hour job, and then I walk for 3 to 4 hours. Get home, work for another couple hours to do research on the property. So I mean, anybody could be a real estate investor as long as you have the mindset to change. I mean, as long as you put yourself in the position to be somebody, basically, you know, because I was just tired of being a nobody. I was tired of working a dead-end job, making somebody else rich. I just got tired of not being able to actually provide for my children. So if you want to change your life and be a better father and provide for your children and live the lifestyle that you want to live, the only thing I can say is really just get out there and do it. Because I mean, you have other people that's coming into your community and you guys are making them rich. I mean, as far as you paying rent, I mean, you can buy a house cheaper than you can rent a house. Yeah. So instead of you putting money in their pocket, you can keep that money and invest into your own self.
Man, that sounds so impressive. You're almost a segue from what Carla Bristol, my guest, had on before you were saying. And we can get more people more empowered in their own neighborhoods. I mean, as a community, I cannot tell you how further ahead. Well, what we need is more stakeholders. You know, as people talk about job share, people want more market share also. So therefore, they should have to share the market. When the market does well, so should they. And I think that's kind of where we are not at, but I think we should be. So that makes you such a spectacular guest to our show. You have very good body information. I think that should really help catapult a lot of people that's struggling in rent situation forever, making somebody else pretty wealthy. Because sometimes most average renters, I think they says anywhere between 10 and 15 years. That's what the average renter is at one particular residence. So you calculate that some payment. I mean, monthly payments over 10 and 15 years. That's a house almost paid for.
Yeah, I told a tenant this before. I bought a triplex off of 5th Avenue, and I believe that's 27th Street. She's been paying rent there for the past 20 years. I bought that property for $35,000. Right, and if you have her rent was about $600 or $700 a month. So you times that by 20 years, she bought that property.
$140,000.
She bought that property 3 or 4 times over.
Wow, man.
And again, I bought it for $30,000. 30 to 35. I can't remember the numbers. You can look it up.
Times returning, good grief. Oh man. Hey, you know what? That's why we have people like this on our show. I think you have very vital information. I think that can really change someone. I mean, your story is remarkable. I mean, hitting the ground running. I I mean, you put this stuff, everything on your back to make yourself in a better situation. I think for people there, I gotta be inspired for individuals who think they can't. If you're living in Jordan Park or you're living in any Section 8 situation, you can see this person started from the same place you started. So you can make it because he made it. And if you can't, you don't think you can, I want you to give him a call. Hit him up on Facebook. It's Antonio Tomson. You're a junior in there, right?
No.
It's the only one?
The only one.
Hey, or you can call into our show. You can meet our executive super producer, call Brother Jabaar Edomnd, and he can get in touch with his brother. Don't take your circumstances as what they are. Let's improve and make things better for you and your family. Tony, I cannot thank you again for being on our show. I mean, you gave such valuable information. And I think in every project you work on, I would love if we can have back. And I'm looking to work on with you a couple of things because I got some information for you. So I'm hoping to see you very soon and work on some other projects.
Yeah, you definitely will. And again, thank you for your time as far as you putting me on your show. You know, this is my first ever radio segment.
Really?
Yeah, man. So I'm very excited, man.
Y'all put this man name on the board, man. I think there's no problem. Hey, you tuned into your hard-hitting radio on your Thursday edition on the Deuces. Big shout out to our sponsors again, Gallery 909. We had our guests on there, Carla Bristol today. In addition to Cafe Creole, best gumbo jambalaya in town. Actually, me and Brother Lewis ate there last night. In addition to Lorraine's Seafood House. You got to come down and see the Big Boy Burgers off the chain. And Sylvia's Soul Food Restaurant, located on the Deuces. Again, it's your host, Toriano Parker. We'll be back to you in 2 minutes. Thank you. It's an edition of Hard Hitting Radio, Thursday edition on the Deuces. I'll see you in 2 minutes.
For the Hard Hitting Radio Show. What's going on, Mr. Phillip Haywood?
Well, this week in sports, we got a little bit of everything going on. But first off, I'd like to congratulate my man, Toriano Parker, for being named the first African-American wrestling coach at Lakewood High School.
Wait. We gotta bring that back since I'm filling in for the big guy, man, Tori. You're telling me he was what now?
The first African-American wrestling coach at Lakewood High School.
Well, that's big ups, man.
According to my research, as you all know, I'm a Lakewood High alumnus, so I'm pretty well versed when it comes to athletics at my alma mater. And yes, that is true. Mr. Toriano Parker has been named the varsity wrestling coach at Lakewood. What a tremendous honor, and I think he's going to do quite well there.
Hey, Phillip, let me ask you something. How much do you think that means to the community and the students at Lakewood High School?
Well, I think it means a lot because Toriano's well versed. He was an ex-wrestler himself, and he's very knowledgeable at the sport as far as the physical part of it, the training aspects, and he's going to be a fine addition to the athletic program at Lakewood.
Wow, man, that's huge for our community, especially being in the Pinellas County system myself, seeing that we don't have too many African American leaders there in the system. So to have him there is going to be a huge asset to Lakewood, I'm pretty sure. And I heard he was a good wrestler back off in the day himself. So.
Oh yeah, he was, and still he still has some good moves that he can teach the kids. And it's more than about teaching. He'll be going into the aspects of life and also teaching the kids how to become great wrestlers as well.
So tell me, Phillip, man, there's so much going on in the Pinellas County area right now when it comes to sports. You got high school playoff, you got Little League going on, you got college going on, some big games coming up this week. Can you put me a little insight in on who you think may come out on top this week?
Okay, well, we're going to start with the Youth League football. We got some big things going on this weekend. We've got the Sunshine Youth Football Conference playoffs starting, and one of our own local teams like St. Pete Green Devils, man, I think they qualified for from the flyweight to the midget division. They've qualified for playoff spots, and really, if you've got that many teams in, you're going to walk away with something. And then we also also have the Mid-Florida, which Charles Park plays in, and big ups to my man Jay Ski. His team is one victory away from playing in that big Super Bowl game in Orlando. And then we got the Pop Warner going on, so it's a plethora of football going on, and we're gonna see when St. Pete puts their hand in there, they're gonna win about 4 or 5 championships. And also, this week in high school football, we have the Bright House Game of the Week, which is featuring Northeast at Lakewood. Of course, I like Lakewood in that game, and plus the playoffs start in 2 weeks, so we'll see what happens. Lakewood is going to be traveling over to Jesuit, and Gibbs will be playing a home game against the Jefferson Dragons. And between those two teams, if anybody has a chance to advance, I'm looking at Gibbs to advance only because they have a secret weapon. He's no longer a secret weapon, but they have DJ Johnson, and DJ also possesses the best receiving corps in the county with Marquez Walls, Marquand Harris. You got Javante Morgan, and you got some other guys. So I think Gibbs can, they can put points on the board. So that's going to be a good game. And tomorrow as well, Gibbs faces an undefeated Braden River squad who's 9-0, which is going to present some problems to Gibbs. But Gibbs is also going to present some problems to Braden River because I don't think they've seen an athlete like DJ Johnson, who's currently number 10 in the state in passing in all classifications. He's throwing the ball that completing 56% of his passes. He has a 116.1 quarterback rating, 22 touchdowns with just 6 interceptions. So he's put the ball up about 255 times. So averages 228 yards a game along with 100 yards rushing and 100 yards in return. So when a guy touches the ball that much, man, he's going to do some things.
Man, do you see anybody stopping this young man, man?
The only person that can stop DJ is DJ.
Wow. That's big up. So I know we got some big games coming up in the college realm this week. I know especially one with FSU and Clemson. Let me get your take on that. Let me go into Phillip Haywood and see who's gonna bring this thing out victorious.
Well, last week I got a chance to watch FSU, and I was really impressed with McGuire at quarterback. I think that maybe it's time for change at quarterback at Florida State. McGuire has been there 3 or 4 years, and he has been able to sit back and watch how that offense is supposed to be ran. And when he got his chance to play last week, the man threw for well over 300 yards. And I think Golson, he's just not in sync yet. But
so who do you think is gonna come out on top?
I'm gonna pick Clemson.
Oh,
they're hot.
You heard it best here.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Clemson. They're hot. And another big game, Alabama LSU.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody can stop the freight train for Fournette, but then Alabama has a guy of their own, Derek the Mack Truck Henry. He's about 6'3", 240 pounds. So we're gonna see a couple of upsets. I like Alabama over LSU, and again, I like Clemson over FSU. So that's what we have coming up this week in sports. So just keep your channels tuned on all of those games. Wow. Keep your ears open for youth league football.
Wow, man. Well, you heard it best here with Mr. Phillip Haywood. You heard it best from the hard-hitting radio talk show, our 3rd edition. Listen, again, I'd like to give shout-outs to who I'm filling in, Toriano Parker, to our executive producer, Mr. Jabaar Edomnd. Hey, we had a good time. Hey, I appreciate you for coming on this show. Hey, continue to look out for the Hard Hitting Radio Show. More episodes to come.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.